Welcome back to the ADC after Misfits take down G2 in a chaotic back-and-forth game and moved to a 5-game win streak. And I have VTO, the man in the mid lane from Misfits, with us to talk about this amazing victory. Thank you so much for joining us. We were just watching the anime video between you and G2. What did you think about it being featured in your best anime character?
Yeah, my best anime character. But yeah, I was not aware of it. So when it was released, like we were all together waiting for lunch, and it was really funny to see that.
Lovely.
And yeah, I was not ready for that, but I think it was really cool, and yeah, it was. I was really happy when I saw that.
Must feel cool, especially after this week, because we entered this week for Misfits with a very hard schedule. I want to say Fnatic on day 1, G2 on day 2, but you're just riding the momentum now. How do you reflect on the success you had? And did you think you would be as strong coming into this week, especially?
I mean, I didn't really know what to expect because, as I said, when we lost first week, especially, I think we underperformed a lot. And it was like probably one of the first time when I was really winning on stream but losing on stage. So it was pretty new to me. And then yeah, we started winning some stage game. I think we had like new players that never played on stage and never in front of audience. So it was new to us and we had to adapt a bit. And I think we play good draft, or at least draft that fits us. And yeah, I think right now we have a good momentum, and I'm happy that we keep that. I think this game was all about momentum.
Yeah, and on the draft question as well, we sort of set up expectations that you guys really like to scale into the late game, especially Neon on the Zeri and you on champions that can scale also, like the Corki. You had the Akali yesterday. What happened between that 0-4 and your drafts then, and then suddenly transformed to a 5-0 back-to-back-to-back?
I mean, I think we find some good champs for us in the meta, and I think we didn't really understand the meta the first week, which was pretty hard. I don't think like that were way worse than the team we faced first week, but they had like way better understanding of the meta than us. And then right now we find good picks for us that scales good, and I think our identity was always playing for fight. I think we have really good carries that plays good for fight, and everyone knows how to fight in our team, and we just came back to that. We take maybe like less strong early champs, but more scaling. And if we're fine in lane and fine early game, we'll scale and do good in fights.
You know what? He's so good at setting up our next point.
I was about to say,
about the draft.
Perfect.
Start talking about the draft. Talking about fights, please run us through these fights that we're going to see right here on the replay, because we felt like both teams were scaling so hard into the late game. It was all going to come down to one fight.
I mean, we knew at one point, I think, yeah, after they got third Drake, probably, that we will win every fight we will play, because we just, at one point, you know, when you're like level 16 with Corki and like Twitch can't really play the game.
Oh, we saw that you guys almost one-shot you,
yeah,
right?
I mean, Twitch is so hard to play with in this game. So yeah, at one point we just
that was amazing.
I mean, yeah, I just go in because I have GA, and I know that even if I die, I can die, it doesn't matter. I didn't die, unfortunately, but yeah, I think it was just, we knew at one point that we will win every fight, so we just don't need to like get cooked or anything, and we will win the game.
I think that personally, you had a super good week when you think about timing the packages and the role that Corki can provide in the late game especially. And I also think about the Akali performance you had yesterday. You got the Kia player of the game here today. What do you think of your impact in game? Because we often said that Misfits...
What?
Holy wow. That's what I was talking about. I mean, we often talk about Misfits as in, if VTO is in a good setting, this is what's going to lead Misfits to a victory. So how do you reflect on the impact you have for the team now that you're able to shine again?
I mean, I think it was really important after first week for me to go back to a stage where my team can trust me and I won't be behind, because I think like first week I was behind. Really, like teams focused me a lot and we see what happened. I mean, I just think like game was over at 20 minutes. So I think we have all good players, but I feel like as I was in spring, I need to take this role to not be behind, be fine in the game, and then I will play good on fights and do what I have to do. And I think all my teammates are stepping up a lot, and I'm really happy. That's why I think if I keep playing good and everyone performs good, I'm really confident for the future.
Wow, playoffs even?
I mean, of course.
What a question.
What a question. Talking about the next game, though, because we have Vitality versus Fnatic coming up next in the match of the week. Let's set the stage here for this match. Trouble, both teams coming off a loss that they suffered from yesterday. We talked about how these teams, both of them were expected to be at the top of the standings, and when you look at the standings right now, they're just a middle of the pack team. And does it reflect what we've seen in-game from them?
I don't think so. I think we had higher expectations, especially from Spring coming in as super teams. You said that Vitality is only sitting one loss down from Fnatic, which means that if they do manage to take this game, they will tie up, but they still both stand right dead center in the middle of the standings. Not 100% contention for playoffs, and there's other teams that are hungry, like Misfits, like even SK, who have started picking up victories that can get on top. I feel like when we start talking about Fnatic, we need to reiterate that even though this team is very high in the standings every single season and they have a massive fan base behind them, they have not won a title since 2018. That was 4 years ago. And when we go over to the other side for Vitality, they came in with the expectations of, wow, you're bringing so many good players. Perkz back from NA, Alphari back from NA, you're bringing in Selfmade. We're expecting so many good things from you, but the team has not clicked. And I don't think Fnatic has clicked yet either.
Yeah, and they all talked about the fact, upset especially in many videos, that they needed to find their form and their identity as a team. But I think the same thing applies also for Vitality. Before that, Viego, you beat Fnatic yesterday. What's your take on the team as it is and the fact that you were able to stomp them in team fights especially?
I mean, I've never felt like there was way better players than me or than us in fights. I think the biggest difference in LEC is like laning. And I think that's where the super teams are really good at, is because they have good laners that you are so behind, and then games is unplayable. But at fighting, I think every LEC player is pretty good at it, and especially us. I think even last year we are really good at fighting, and yeah, I think it's just we are not that behind, and they throw a bit, and then at one point it's the same. We had like better comp, and then we just can't lose a single fight.
And I think it's very important that we also talk a lot about laning and how stable your early game should be. Because as you mentioned, this is so important for you to be able to snowball and play your macro game and play towards these objectives. And I think overall, if we look over towards Vitality, they have one of the most stable laners, always ahead in CS difference at 14. Then you go over to Fnatic, you see Wunder's coming back with his niche peaks. Humanoid is always ahead in CS at 14 as well. And of course, Upset and Hylissang always bring positive stats at 14 in laning as well. So if we're talking about laning, if we're talking about matchups, these two guys have impeccable laning phases.
I mean, yeah, and the same thing can be said about Vitality when you look at the stats and everything. They have the best laners in the league. Although if I can quote Mephisto, the coach from Vitality, he said that the issue they have right now is that they're trying to balance between aggressivity and more conservative gameplay in the sense that they don't know how they want to play yet. What's your take on Vitality, style-wise, Vincent? And what do you think is missing from them to be on the top?
I don't really know. I think they always had good laners, but I don't feel like they are stomping like lane enough to just snowball from this. And I don't feel like they are playing that good in fights, or at least they don't even play really good teamfight champs. For example, mid, they play a lot of Azir, and it's in the meta, especially, it's really good champ because you will win like almost every lane. But once you come in fights, it's really hard to fight with Azir. And I think that's mostly draft and what they play, and just that they are good in lane, but not good enough to just win from that.
Now, you talked about the mid lane, and I want to focus on this point especially because we feel that the matchup mid lane is maybe the strongest lane for both teams. Do you agree on that and the fact that they have to rely on mid lane?
I mean, I don't know if they're the best laners because I think, especially in the meta, there's like really good laning champs that will be ahead like kind of every game. For example, Azir. And then there's like more scaling. So I think if you just focus on the stats, it's pretty hard because there is so few games that it just depends on the champs you play. But I think they are both really good players, and really good laner, and for sure mid lane is such an important role that you have to rely on that.
It is, and as we said in the Reddit check trouble, this is a matchup we should focus as it can be clutch. Int or carry, we'll see about that, but it's time for us to send it over to the casters for the final game of the day. Drakos and Caedrel, take it away for match of the week.
Thank you very much, Slore. I'm a little bummed that VIT wouldn't grace us with his magical girl transformation, but I understand it's you know, times of need. He already did it in the previous game.
Yeah, you need someone to hand over his dagger, and then he'll transform into a Kali.
Got it. And then pew, pew, pew. Prize to whoever can find that dagger. Sick dagger. In the meantime, we're gearing up. Final game of the day. Again, this game is being played remotely because there is a confirmed COVID case on Team Vitality. Again, thanks for sticking with us, especially to all of you fans in the audience. I know you would love to see all the players. You can see their beautiful faces there. It's not the same thing, but you're all amazing, wonderful people here for being here anyway. We appreciate you. And now it's time for the sexy pre-draft time. Ooh.
Now it's time for the sexy post-draft music.
Well, no, this is currently the draft. In the draft.
Yeah, I saved.
Post-draft comes after.
Yeah, safe.
Anyway, so welcome. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling alive. We're about to see what I hope is a very explosive draft. Team Vitality, Fnatic, obviously two teams looking to claw their way up the standings. It's been a messy week for so many teams. Fnatic and Vitality among them. And for now, no more poke. No more Corki, Azir, and I love that for this game because as much as Corki doing 1 million damage with a rocket is great, I would love to see some fist fights.
All we need now is a Yuumi ban, and everybody's happy. Azir Corki down. Of course, we maybe see things like the Wukong banned away. Oh, there it is.
Woo!
Music to my eyes.
Not only a great prediction, but a great turn of events for the draft phase. Gwen also now going to get banned out.
Now all we need is a Zeri ban. If we get a Zeri ban, then we're happy because that removes all the poke. No, we don't. Is Vitality going to first pick that Zeri? We saw Neon last game, of course, other than the fail flash. Still, fantastic game from him. A lot of damage output. We saw VTO did 55k damage that game, so a lot of the heavy lifting from his poke champ. And there's the Zeri. Now, what's the first rotation here from Fnatic? We've seen Gnar first rotations. We've seen Ornn first rotations. Renata is up.
Jungle pool also shrinking, but with both Wukong, Volibear off the board, there's not really any super high tier picks left except for maybe that Lee Sin. Razork obviously made a big name for himself back on the days of Misfits. We'll see if he wants to bust it out here. For now, though, the Twitch feels like a pretty common response, and immediately the Viego has been the Razork special.
Yeah, has 3 games on that. Volibear's band has 3 games on that as well. They don't opt to take away the Renata. We'll see if Labrov wants that. I don't think he's played Renata once this split yet. But the power of Zeri Renata is brutal. We'll see if Fnatic pick their support on 3. Gnar still up. We'll see if they match jungle as well. Haru could go for something like a Xin Zhao here. There's going to be GP for Alphari. Now Fnatic have the options of counter picking mid, the Sylas blind, counter picking top, the GP blind, or just picking up their support.
And I like the Team Vitality are coming so aggressive into this draft phase. Blind picking both of their solo lane champions gives them so much freedom in the second phase to ban out. Now they've opted for the Kayle here, which means you can do 2 targeted mid bans if you so choose on the side of Vitality to make sure that that Sylas has an optimal matchup. Or put your focus on the bot lane, really try to sculpt a matchup for the Zeri instead.
So we saw a lot of Kayle answers into the GP in early weeks of Summer. Does really well after lane phase. GP will win that lane and get a CS lead and bully you out, but the second you get to that 1-item spike, you should be absolutely fine. The Kayle ult on the Twitch will be crucial. If Upset can unleash damage and not have to flash away and just can stand there and just dish out the damage, that'll be big for them in fights, but Sylas can take away that ultimate and use it on Zeri too, so there might be 2 immune AD carries in a fight in the middle of everyone having a massive brawl, and that's exactly what we're hoping for, and that's exactly what I want to see.
I love it. I love casting invulnerable champions as a play-by-play caster. Not stressful or anxiety-inducing at all. He's going to... maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Give me a Zillion 2. Why not? Zillion Twitch bottom lane. Let's round it out nicely.
Zeri, Taric, Zillion, Twitch. Everyone's immune. Everyone's happy. No one dies. Jarvan Lee Sin bans taken away from Haru, taking away that Lee Sin Jarvan to stop playmaking onto the Twitch. Couple counters here, quote-unquote, taken away by Perkz. Has the blind pick Sylas, has the option to take away mid, and they're going to take away the Rakan. So now the question for Fnatic is, do you pick your mid laner here, or do you take the best support? I would expect mid lane. With that Rakan ban, we saw a Brown blind pick when Rakan was banned away on 4-5, but I wonder if they're looking for something else. Nautilus would be a go-to. Could also go for an Enchanter.
It's tough because Renata's still up.
Yeah.
And so if you don't take the Renata here, you know Vitality's going to take it. So it could imply that they have a counter pick ready, but no, they're just going to take it. Obviously, best-in-class support right now.
So Labrov, surely he goes something like the Nautilus here, we expect, unless they do want to go for the Lulu. Yeah, have that Zeri, Lulu, Enchanter, and then just round it out with their jungler, which I expect to just be frontline. Trundle is a bit awkward right now because they don't really have any frontline. But something like the Xin Zhao can buy time and peel for your team. Poppy, again, a massive pick in the Eastern region. But Xin Zhao seems like the better one for buying time. And then Fnatic will have their last pick for mid. We'll see what Humanoid opts into. We've seen things like the TF, but we'll struggle into Sylas. Corki's banned away. Ari's banned. Azir's banned. Maybe we just get an Orianna or a LeBlanc here. Or a Zoe.
Oh, Zoe I do like. Obviously, a little bit of poke. We talked about this earlier. Can just try to outrange a lot of the champions. But now we're in a situation where you have 3 pretty immobile carries on the side of Fnatic. Zoe does have the luxury of the portal. She can steal flashes away, but GPL's going to do a lot of work if it does come down to these full-on 5v5s around objectives, especially when paired with the Sylas, who has so much to steal away. Something we will track as we move further into the game.
So Fnatic are playing a comp here with very little frontline, very little engage, and a Twitch Kayle. So a lot of scaling. Whereas Vitality are playing a comp with very heavy skirmish with Sylas Xin Zhao. They want to dive on your backline with a GP ult and then a Zeri dishing out damage. So if Fnatic can keep Vitality at arm's length, similar to Misfits last game, and just dish out damage with range and bubbles, then they should be alright. But their scaling should be in their favor too. Vitality have a lot of options in the early game with the Xin Zhao. Razork's probably just going to juggle lanes to make sure they're safe and play through mid, which is where I think Fnatic will have their only pushing lane.
Stakes are set. Big game for both these teams. Final game in the first round robin. Ready to see what they can do. Feels like 2 very volatile compositions, all things considered. Have to see if Humanoid can make his mark on the Zoe. We know how important this early game is going to be. Both these lineups have to find out. Time for Team Vitality versus Fnatic, the final game in Week 4. Nice. It's the little things that bring us all together. You can be a Vitality fan, you can be a Fnatic fan, but anybody can cheer for TSM.
Anybody can be a TSM
as long as they're not
fan.
in the stadium. Level up your dreams, dang. Bam, Santander. Okay, here's the thing.
Bang.
I know you guys like TSM chants, and that's cool, but I feel like we got to keep the crowd energy high as we go through this game, because I get it. There's no players on stage. You don't get to see like Upset and Hylissang like talking to each other, chit-chatting. So I just want to know, are there any Fnatic fans in the house? Can I hear the Fnatic fans? That's pretty good.
What about any Vitality fans in the audience today? Yeah.
Dang. Oh my. Oh
Well,
man.
we had a similar sort of situation last game.
Yeah, maybe they're all at the major. I'm not sure, but respect to you, Vitality fan. I see you. Shout out to you. The audience in favor of Fnatic today, will it be enough is the question on our minds. But regardless, Caedrel, this is a weird game. This is not the Ornn games that we've kind of gotten lulled into in our cast this week, where there's just these big, reliable 5v5 engages. If this game is about 5v5s, there are going to be some messy fights.
Okay, so let's take stock of what to expect. That ward just died there, so Perkz will get level 2 on the first wave, but I'm not sure if he can contest the first wave anyway because he's against the Zoe. Now, the reason this is a bit of a weird game is because there's very little setup in lanes, right? Kayle GP, very little setup. Mid lane, a bubble needs to land or Perkz needs to land the chain and jungle needs to be around. Bot lane, again, really not much setup unless you're getting the Renata Q. So it's on the junglers, and which jungler has the best setup? It's the Xin Zhao, and Haru is going to path top because if GP can stack early waves, they should be able to get a top dive off. So I think that's what Vitality's game plan is, and Razork wants to match it. Kayle, very vulnerable on early dives. 1 stacked wave, 1 jungler, that's a dead Kayle. Haru is probably going to do red Raptors Gromp into top. We'll see how they communicate this stacking top wave. And there's the mid push for Humanoid, who can cover this top dive if it happens. We'll see if Razork runs up there as the wave crashes and skips a few camps, because I think that's really the only early game play we can look for here.
Caedrel, I feel like if we do not see an explosive tower dive here, then we are going to be going late. We're going to be going for the long game, the scaling game.
I would love to see top lane right now, observers, if we could, because... So there's the wave. He just needs to crash this cannon wave and pull Haru up. Wunder's taking a bit of a chunk. Does Haru do blue is the question. He's just going to finish Gromp. There's the ping. So this is the only play Vitality have in the early game. If they execute it properly, that'll be a winning lane. And they will get a big advantage on the GP. And the question is, does Razork cover it? Does Humanoid cover it? It should be a very obvious play that Fnatic will spot out. And Wunder is probably calling here. And Razork will head to, after that red buff, the dive commences.
Buffs.
There's the Haru stacking the knock-up.
Fleet footwork already used. This is about as much health as Wunder's going to get. He's going to try to survive as long as possible. Flash out from Wunder. Now the Viego coming and trying to land the stun. Alphari grabbing 1 kill, taking a tower shot in return. Razork can't look for the resets. He goes through. He's going to lay down a little bit more damage. Alphari finished off. Doesn't want to take the clone because he has no way to get out of it. Instead, using the Viego kit naturally. Turning, looking to fight. Oh, Vitality. The smite! The smite! Haru, it's so clean. He makes it work. The TV back to the top side to catch the wave. It's not perfect, but at the end of the day, Vitality come out on top.
Upset.
Hook pulled back. Labrov, run for your life. Upset is merciless.
The bloodbath begins. Are you not entertained? 3 minutes, 30 seconds in, 4 kills, 2 apiece. Fnatic reading the top play. Razork losing out on that 1v1. Means it's a 2-for-1 on the top side. Haru here stacking the knock-up on the creeps, gets the Q3 and then goes for the E in. Wunder flashes afterwards, but enough damage with the barrel combo to get the kill. Alphari then flashes away. Razork gets the kill, but smartly avoids taking the soul because he can't get out of it once you're in it until you're level 6. He misses the Q here on Haru thing. Auto, Q misses, so he doesn't get the passive damage, but regardless, with that smite, I think Haru would win anyway. He gets out, 1 kill for Haru, 1 kill for Alphari. Top dive worked out. Fnatic read the play, but they still come out behind. Upset gets the 2v2 kill with hitting.
Certainly. Very strong start for this Fnatic bottom lane as well. Renata, very, very impressive. Definitely even more so with the lead. Is Wunder now the center of attention again, just poking him out, just making sure that he cannot farm up.
I would love to see the runes if possible there, Drakos, because I wonder if he has tenacity there. Yeah, he does. If he had alacrity, I think he'd have enough attack speed to land the second knockup. I played way too many Zhao games. Haru in trouble.
Razork, a lot more health. They're looking for the reset now. He's probably going to take this one. Turning into Zin is massive in the early game, but he's polymorphed. He's just now going to be able to grab it. He's pushing in. He just wants to finish off this kill on Alphari, but he doesn't quite have the damage. The healing! A support from nowhere. How did he get there?
And Lulu from downtown just comes out of there. Push, and then Alphari wins. He gets double buffs now. Upset's looking for Carzzy.
Stealth.
Has subs.
Walks forward. 2 stacks, 3
Bang,
stacks,
bang,
4,
bang,
5.
bang.
Looking to make the expunge hurt. Carzzy zoned away, but
Wow.
Labrov, that was a psycho roam, and I love to see it.
I love to see it as well. So how the hell did he... I mean, I guess he must have read the play and knew there was a 2v2 happening, so he's already up here. As it begins, Haru, no flash, looks great for Fnatic. This should be 2 kills for Fnatic. Alphari would probably die and lose the 1v1 if Razork takes over that Sinzao body, but no, Polymorph can't take it, eventually does take it, ignited, Alphari gets shielded, they get the kill. So great play there by Labrov, saving the top side of the map for Vitality, which when you're playing Kayle, Viego, if you get ahead in the early game, that's terrible for Vitality.
Absolutely horrifying. Level 6 crucial for the Kayle, as you all know well. It is about the scaling, and of course Viego gets snowballing, he starts getting resets that much faster. Very big, especially into the Xin Zhao matchup too. Labrov now with double buffs.
Oh, it's Labrov.
He's gonna get handshake back there though. Full stacks on the expunge, big damage now coming in. Hylissang and Upset absolutely unrelenting, but there's the GP ult, the heal coming back from Upset. Haru on the way, and Hylissang has the flash. He's holding it for as long as possible. Here comes Razork. What did I say? Scaling? It's never gonna be about scaling. It's gonna be about fighting to the death at every opportunity. Vitality coming out on top. Razork backing away, holding, but Upset crucially going to be forced to back here.
He wants the wave.
Oh my, this is so greedy.
Wunder, no flash.
Getting
the barrel,
chunked
he has
out,
to
there's
get the
no
barrel.
level 6. Barrel chain going to hit.
Oh,
He's
no.
going to finish the job. He hits it. Doesn't even need the gun. Finishes him with the sword. Well played by Alphari.
Humanoid hits the bubble. We'll calm down here a sec. I think the Q will land, but that'll be it because Perkz can't land the chains. The portal jump goes back. 8 kills in 6 minutes 30 seconds. Razork's here because he wants top crab, I think. He's just going to ignore Perkz and walk past him very calmly, and Upset does catch that wave in the end. So a lot of action here. Haru wants to force, Razork wants to defend. Perkz
going in, sleepy Xin, getting the early ultimate out. Haru taking a lot of poke, but Labrov again is here. This Lulu absolutely everywhere, and Humanoid is going to make it out, forced to use his flash and ignite in that exchange.
Look at top lane gold. It's a 2k gold lead for Alphari in 7 minutes. Those dives, that Lulu roam just really hurts Wunder. He's going to have a lot of... He's going to need at least 10 to 20 minutes to be able to even remotely catch up. This lane is going to be horrifying for him.
Yeah, I mean, we're 7 minutes in, and let's just take a look at the Alphari numbers.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
That's big. Wunder has 20 less or more gold than Labrov right now. That's...
And then, wait, Perkz is pretty low down there as well.
That's
but of course
about as
he's
bad
a
as
bit
it
down
gets.
Yes.
To be fair, Labrov does have a kill.
Yeah. And it's very early, right? That's why the numbers are somewhat close. But like we talked about in draft, Haru has set up, he wants to make plays, he wants to gank top and probably bot if there is a fight. Razork wants to defend. That's what we've been seeing all game long. Razork trying to match and defend these plays. Lucky for him, his bot lane is winning. They got a 2v2 kill. But even though Labrov has roamed after dying 2v2, his AD carry is still pretty healthy on CS. Upset will catch his wave and still be ahead, of course, but seems like they're managing bot lane pretty well despite dying. And Wunder just needs a lot of assistance now. He needs vision, he needs to crash waves, he needs to avoid getting frozen on, and he needs to make sure he avoids dives. But at level 6, that'll help out a lot because he's a range form now, and he has the invulnerability in case anything kicks off. Vitality, their next play is probably a Herald, right? Top side is just so far ahead. That's why Wunder's going to ward it, because when they go to Herald, maybe Fnatic want to trade for a Dragon or some kind of bot play.
Crucially, Haru also hitting level 6 first. We'll see when Razork hits it. He is now on his red buff. Imagine does get it as he finishes it, so big for the fights to come.
So Razork's around. So what's the play here, Razork? Because Humanoid's catching a wave, you lose the top 1v1.
They're just going to try to...
It's going to be a bit of a horrifying contest. I mean, I think they should have just ran to bot side in here and traded objectives, but it looks like they want to fight.
I don't think you have any business being here. This is a tourist objective at best. You're just coming to watch them take it.
Yeah, Hilly's on the way. I think they're way too late here. Maybe they can look for Labrov, though.
Flash over the wall is big. Handshake will pull him back. Good damage, just trying to finish off the support. That will be at least 1 kill. No, the shield coming in. Level 4, still standing strong. Oh my gosh, are they going to finish it? Just picks up the flash, stolen from Labrov. Does get it in the end, at least getting 1 kill fired back in exchange for the Herald.
Okay, a bit of a blunder there by Labrov. He's trying to match Hylissang towards this Herald, which Vitality do get, I believe, but then ends up falling. 2v2 inbound.
Herald on Haru, trying to finish off Wunder. He's immediately immune, though. They're going to try to turn this one. Haru buying himself a bit more space, a bit more room to function, but Wunder already taken down. Razork desperately needs the reset. He wants to finish at least 1 kill. He goes in, can't pick this up. It's going to be big. Alphari backing away, but he's just so far ahead of the clock. Alphari basically 2v1ing in that exchange.
A lot happening. How the hell did Perkz get Kayle? He must have ran top and picked that one up while Humanoid was killing Labrov. So much action around the map. 11 kills now. Perkz, bubble misses. Might have had the self-ult there. Humanoid's missing out on these shots. Perkz missing too. No one connects, so no fight happens. And Wunder's going to TP back top. Still a 2k gold lead for Alphari in this top lane.
Yep. Only 1,000 ahead for Vitality, even with him 2k ahead in his individual matchup. Hylissang feeling a lot more confident. Level 6 to Labrov's level 4. This is the cost of all those early roams. He helped Alphari build this massive, massive lead, but he himself very far behind in experience.
Humanoid got a couple plates for himself as well in this lane, looking for Perkz, trying to cancel any base because he knows he's low on mana, but he's just going to give him blue buff and then he's going to base. So the early game calms down. Vitality still have this Herald that they can place. Wunder's flash is back up. Upset lost his flash earlier on. So it looks like there could be a play made in the bot side of the map for Vitality, but I think the idea here is just keep pressure top. Alphari's 2 levels up, massive gold lead, keep the pressure, get that tower down perhaps, and just give all the gold to Alphari, and then play for these Drakes, which no one has actually touched yet. Not a single Dragon has died.
And it's important to keep an eye on top lane, not just because he's wildly ahead, but because he's potentially record-setting wildly ahead. The largest top lane gold difference at 14 in a single game this season was plus 2.8k. That was Arma versus Vizichachi earlier today. If Alphari tops that record versus Wunder, that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, record breaking. He needs a Herald, that's all he needs. That should push him over the edge, get that first tower. Happy days. He's going to TP back top. You can see the CS lead for Humanoid. That's that last pick. Zoe in isolation should win out on the 1v1. Perkz really needs his jungler if he wants to contest. I mean, if the Zoe loses summoners early, then the Sylas is pretty happy in the lane. But if it's just constant isolation pressure, Wunder might have the flash here. Doesn't have the ultimate. Might die anyway. I think he's just dead.
Just walking him down. Gets the clean flash over the wall. Alphari does not whiff that one. One shot, 1 kill.
Yeah, it doesn't even flinch there, Alphari. You know, you've seen it in solo queue. Your top laner is going to get the kill. He flashed into the wall.
Yep.
Alphari, just good mechanics. And I think he is going to break that record here if he has Demolish.
5-1 and 2.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
This is...
And this was a matchup that Fnatic opted into, right? Yeah. You picked Kayle into GP, and everyone knows that in pro play at least, Kayle is so vulnerable to these early dives, and you tried to defend it, but it backfired. You tried to save it by going for the 2v2, it backfired, and this is the situation Wunder's in. There's the Herald mid.
Brutal. Herald now going to charge in. Hylissang, ulti, going to hit a lot of people, but not doing a whole lot here. Hylissang is going to cut down, knock back. Hylissang still standing, though. It's Perkz who will fall. Just 2 plates so far. Razork wants to keep the fight going. Carzzy still standing strong. Upset up to the side. Rana, tat. Reset for Razork. Can leap right over the wall instead, chasing Labrov. Haru.
He has to eat.
Running away as well. Ultra Shock Laser. Razork, I think, waiting to use the E as long as humanly possible. Instead, going forward with the W. That's going to be the stun coming in, and a finished kill in the end. Fnatic fighting back for their own gold lead. It might not work in the top lane, but the mid lane playing out well.
3 kills over to them. Couple plates as well. Maybe they want to dive Haru here. Bubble will miss, so that play is off. And I think Hilly is a mastermind. He's just miles ahead of all of us. He's playing 5-dimensional chess right now because he R-flashed over Perkz, missed everyone, I think, but then baited everyone to fight. So let's just watch this again. Hilly, R-flash. Let's hit these 2 targets. Flashes over Perkz, completely misses, goes towards Haru. Perkz misses too, but he baits Perkz to go in. Turns the fight. Hylissang lives. Of course, he has W as well. And then Upset collapses the 3v3 in favor of Fnatic.
This is why he's known as the Professor. And while not every lesson is a good one, he's a damn entertaining teacher. We know that one for sure.
Yeah, gets them the fight, gets them the win, and gets them some kills. So Fnatic happy with that. Top side, of course, has fallen apart. It's collapsed. You know, Wunder is 3k gold down at 13 minutes.
2.9k.
But
55 seconds away from getting a record as long as he can keep this lead.
Alphari breaking records here. Doesn't have a huge XP lead. Will hit level 11, but Wunder's halfway to level 10, so around 1.5 level lead.
Oh. Sorry, this is the. I know that there's a million things happening in this game that are worth talking
waiting
about,
for the
but they
record.
told me about this record, and now it's like the only thing I can see.
Engraved.
Oh, it's fallen away.
Oh, and we need to keep our eye on that number because he's got 30 seconds left. Get a wave in,
get a
get
wave.
the plate, get the tower Alphari, get as many
The
creeps
ward
as
gold?
possible. He doesn't have sweeper. It's just going to be one
0.9.
more wave. I think he'll probably go over to 3k
Alphari
if he
versus
gets his
Arma.
wave. Actually, he'll get the tower as well.
Oh, this is going to be big.
He has 20
parlays the
seconds to
barrel.
get the tower. And Wunder's giving it up. It's going to be 3k now, and then he's going to get the tower, and it's going to be about, oh my god, it's going to be about 3.6, 3.7.
There it is. Beautiful thing
Get
to
it.
watch. Oh,
You
no,
have
he's
12
denying.
seconds.
He's denying. He doesn't care about the record. He cares about all
Well,
that
3.6.
Skrilla. All that money.
3.6k gold in 40 minutes. Ridiculous.
Well, that's the record. This is single-handedly the biggest lead that we have seen this season in top lane. Step aside, Arma. Alphari is back to being the lane king of top lane.
So let's see how Fnatic salvage it, because right now, Humanoid, incredible pressure, big CS lead. Upset 2 kills, getting close to that Blade of the Ruined King. They have carries that are ahead, they have carries that are strong, and they have themselves the first dragon of the game. Herald spawning in 20 seconds. If it's a 4v4 and Alphari's on a side lane, Fnatic are ahead. But if
Sure.
it's a 5v5 and the GP is in the fight, then they are behind. So they have to be very careful and manage where Alphari is on the map. Who wants to join fights right now? He doesn't want to go to side. You can see he's mid and Perkz is on a side lane.
And this is big, that he's finally free from going to top lane. And yes, it does give Wunder a little bit more room to farm, a little bit more room to maybe scale up here, but it means that finally Vitality are able to leverage this massive individual lead that Alphari has built for himself. The downside, again, he is really the sole member on this team that is ahead. Again, check the numbers at the bottom middle of your screen, 1.1k ahead for Humanoid. The Zoe is terrifying for everybody but Alphari.
Blade of the Ruined King picked up for upset. Herald started for Vitality. Hilly will pop a ward and he'll spot it out, but Alphari's there. He's letting Wunder farm up because he knows he needs to be with his team. They are at a disadvantage in the 4v4, but he always needs to be there to make sure it's a 5v5. So what Fnatic will do is avoid the 5v5, and Wunder will slowly catch up. So Vitality need to make sure they snowball this. You can see Alphari grouping. Let's go top, let's pop Herald, get a tier 2, trade that for this bot tier 1. Force, force, force. Use this early game lead on the Gangplank. Fnatic will avoid it at all costs and try to weather as much of the storm as they can. Upsets here to wave clear. We'll see if Humanoid and Hylissang are on the way to cover. If they aren't, I think Vitality can push for 2 towers here. Wunder's actually on the way up.
Upset has to be careful about stepping forward here. Just a bit of a slow. There's the Herald charge. Bubble goes over the wall, hitting the Herald as well. Maybe see an ult from Upset just to clear the wave. Will not come through. TP now coming in. Kayle on the way. Haru taking so much damage. Now the ulti coming in. Not going to be enough yet. Hostile takeover won't do too much. Vitality on the retreat. Razork off to the side. Keep your eyes on the resets. It's going to be big for Humanoid and Razork. If they get this fight going, it's going to be so good for them. Perkz getting poked. Vitality getting the tower and backing away.
Trade of summoners. TP came in. Hylissang used flash ult to get the engage. Haru flashed away. They get the tower, and Fnatic get no cross map. So still a net positive there for Vitality. Alphari's going to TP bot now. I think the wave is terrible, so he wants to push it out to deny CS from Wunder. Yeah, it is an absolutely horrible wave. It would have slow stacked. Wunder would have ran from base and caught it. So he wants to make sure it crashes, so he denies as much goals from from Wunder as he can. Dragon's still up. Alphari will find all of Fnatic going towards it, and it should be theirs. Don't think he can
Level
1v3.
12 GP though, big damage coming in. Should just be able to break this objective without much going wrong. Alphari just waiting on the side, just threatening here.
So Alphari used his TP bot there, and Perkz doesn't have TP either, so globals are down other than the GP ult, so now it's a case of finding how they can get Alphari out of this lane, or they could play towards the GP. Push in mid, move bot, get this bot tier 1, help Alphari poke out Wunder. Wunder still hasn't even got an item yet. Building towards that, Nashor is going for the AP Kayle. And Humanoid, of course, is strong, 2-0-2. Upset, likewise. Just they need to slow the game down, wait for Wunder to catch up. Perkz has the crown.
Waiting off to the side, Upset can proc the crown with the W instead of just walking forward with the auto attack, trying to bait Perkz into turning. No mana left, Perkz still running. He knows Hylissang is coming, he wants nothing in that exchange.
Upset had no mana there for the E, I think, so he decided to back away. But him showing top means Alphari's free bot. Labrov got him some vision. There's the play towards the GP. There goes the bot tower. So now, Vitality have taken top, they've taken bot. All that's left is mid. Now they need a little bit of macro to get that, but it shouldn't be too difficult. All they need to do is get a little bit of bot side vision, make Alphari feel pretty comfortable and safe, and then have him push in bot just like that and move towards mid. But for now, I think he wants to spend his gold. They can also use GP ult to force Fnatic away.
Big for Vitality to keep this lead growing, to keep knocking down those towers. So obviously the Kayle ticking over to level 11, getting stronger and stronger. Upset pretty far away from level 11, getting stronger as well, working towards that second item. The Kayle and the Twitch really the ones we have to track. Humanoid would have loved to have some of that early pressure transition into breaking down mid lane tower, freeing up so much of that vision, allowing him to poke and fish for these picks. But for now, he's mostly just on wave clear duty. Hasn't really gotten to be the waiting in the darkness, throwing out the trouble bubble Zoe that so many players dream of being.
And they need to establish control through that, but it's Vitality who own this river. Hylissang got a little bit of vision on the bot side, but Haru is going to clear that out straight away. And Humanoid's forced to catch side wave. So now the Vitality have this numbers advantage where on the next wave they can force. Fnatic need to collapse mid now to hold this mid tower while Perkz pushes out top.
So difficult too, Alphari. Ultimate up and available. So many immobile carries on the side of Fnatic. Very easy for Vitality to collapse, but Razork just threatening, posturing, letting them know that it will be a full-on fist fight if they do want to go for it.
So now Fnatic have to go top and catch top wave, which allows Perkz to move down. And on the next mid wave, Vitality will force again. So Fnatic have to juggle these side waves while trying to defend mid. I think the call here is, let's get bot tier 1. Humanoid will pick that up, give this mid tower up, because I don't think they can match numbers right now with Wunder showing top and Humanoid showing bot. You can see Hylissang's already basing, that mid tower should fall. And I think Perkz could just TP if you want to defend that tower. A lot of things that could happen in the next couple seconds here.
Upset could just ult to try and clear the way, but he's just trying to back away instead, seeing that he can't do a lot here. Rat-tat-tat already procced with the Lulu wall, knocking him up immediately, trying to get a bit more space for Razork. Hostile takeover over the wall. Haru not going to hit a single teammate, so just the tower knocked down for the side of Vitality, trading sums for these structures.
And there's the trade of towers. I think Humanoid will get that bot tower, and that was the call for Fnatic. Defend it, but don't fight. And if they come into us, we will punish it and try to find an angle. But if there isn't an angle, we'll give it up, trade the towers. It's inevitably going to die. So you want to get something as a net advantage as well. So good play there by Fnatic to keep even trades.
I think the struggle here is actually for the Vitality didn't really burn any sums. They burned some ultimates. Yep. Alphari doesn't have to flash into Upset. Upset forced to flash away. In the next fight, he's going to be very, very vulnerable. Doubly so, again, against a hyper-fed GP, building the Collector.
You're absolutely right. I wonder if that's just a call of just the case of Fnatic saying, let's give up this dragon. Upset doesn't have flash, doesn't have the Hurricane. Maybe he has it in base now, but too risky to walk up because the second Perkz connects, he's as good as dead. Needs that Kayle ult, needs that bailout. A lot of ways that he can come back into the fight if he gets caught out of position.
Certainly are. Difficult game for Fnatic now. It's the how long can we wait to scale? How many objectives can we give up kind of game? Because Wunder's always going to be behind in gold until we get very, very, very late in the game. But Kayle's natural scaling is some of the strongest, probably the strongest in the game, next to a character like Bel'Veth or anyone with infinite scaling. So eventually Wunder will be impossible to deal with and stronger than the GP. He just needs time. But at some point, you have to take a fight, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, Wunder, Alphari, sorry, 4k gold up. 3-item GP. Wunder has 1.5 items, so 1 barrel combo is going to chunk out Fnatic really hard.
Razork trying to step back. Sleepy Trouble Bowl buying him a little bit of room. Is going to be forced to ult out early. Poke already coming in from the Zeri. 335 on a single item.
Yeah, that'll be a free dragon for Vitality as well. Easy pickup. Fnatic can't really cross-map or force anything top because you can see the amount of vision Vitality have up there. They have double TP as well and the Gangplank ult. Let's say you went top and pushed in the wave to try and trade a tower for it. Alphari can just toss his ult up there, and now all of a sudden you're just sitting there wondering why you're there in the first place. Now they're pushing on a bot tier 2. They don't even want us to go towards the Dragon Pit just yet. They want to force this a bit. Try to force Fnatic back. Upset has no flash. Needs to be careful.
And try to focus on the minions, trying to find that side angle there. Perkz stepping forward, bit extra auto attack range for himself, but won't be able to put it to use.
Where's the GP ult? Are they giving up that top tower?
All of Fnatic just looking to collapse, just looking to threaten. Looks like they want to hold on to the ultimate instead. Setting their sights on the dragon, happy to just let Wunder take a couple waves, take a tower.
Yeah. Do they want to save it maybe? Upset, no flash. Catch him out of position. GP ult will hurt. Perkz caught now.
Hylissang getting chunked out just a little bit, but Perkz going under the tower is pretty disastrous. Humanoid laying it down. That's going to be the hostile takeover, but it's big damage coming in from Alphari. Trying to fire back, looking for the barrel. Carzzy coming over the wall. Razork now stepping forward, turning into Perkz, trying to get the reset. Unstoppable. Now leaps out, but Haru under the tower. Fnatic still standing. And meanwhile, Wunder pushing on the top side, looking to break down another tower. Is it just going to be tier 2 for tier 2 at the end of the day?
There's the TP. He wants to defend it here, Alphari. Maybe they gave up too much in the top side there to Wunder, who will slowly catch up. He's even in levels now. Alphari will ding over to 14, but before it was 1.5. It's basically half a level now, the difference. Still a 4k gold lead, but Wunder just needs to scale his way back up into this game while Fnatic hold the 4v5. Perkz going way too deep there. Vitality still get their objective, but sloppy play.
Certainly, and this is the pressure again of playing against the Kayles. You want the clock to speed up, but if you try to force too hard, she just gets that much further along into the game. We'll see if he can finish the second item now for Wunder, as he always has the Nashers. A lot of time alone on that solo lane. Not quite enough to finish anything major, but getting scarier and scarier. And again, level 16, what you have to keep your eye on.
3 levels away. Halfway through level 13 now, so 2.5 levels away. And 2 items, second item being picked up for everyone. Upset just got Hurricane, Razork just got Gangplank, Carzzy just got Phantom Dancer. So 2 item spikes are matched on both sides. And Upset might be looking for something. Can play a little bit more confident when he has that flash up again. 3 minutes on the next dragon. 3 minutes 40 seconds. Still a lot of time to buy. Neither team can really go towards the Baron, so it's just going to be a mid-wave contest. Fnatic would love that mid tower. But of course, Vitality will defend it for now. Alphari trying to group as much as possible without that TP. And of course, like we said, without that GP.
Look at that TP from Perkz.
TPing the top tier 2 area.
Pinging out the vision, though, that
It was
they
on
know
a
they
pink
have.
ward. If you TP on a pink ward, it shows on the minimap. So Fnatic know he's there, and they're going to hug the bot side of mid. They know Perkz is around the vicinity. He got spotted by the tier 2. Now Upset's looking for him.
Upset waiting in the darkness. Can't step too far forward, but can just wait on the edge. Excellent use of the Twitch stealth. Start to unload. Have to be careful about walking to the pinch, though. Alphari will not find the barrel. This is a tense moment in the game. Fnatic returning to mid lane, fine. Uncontested. Perkz so far his way to the TP. He's invulnerable, but no one's hitting him with any damage anyway. Hostile takeover goes to the wall. Alphari buying a bit of space, but Humanoid taken down. Humanoid, can he find the reset? No! Bailout will not be enough. Meanwhile, Upset getting torn to pieces. Kayle buying him a little bit of space, a little bit of room, but Alphari is so damn strong. Hylissang getting taken down. Razork getting torn apart. Vitality find their fight.
And I think they're going to go towards Baron here. 35 seconds on Razork. Upset's too low to contest. It should be pretty free. That's 3 quick kills and a Baron and a tower. It was a dance around mid-waves. Fnatic didn't want to give them too much space around that lane. Decided to take the fight, but it's Humanoid who gets caught. Perkz just so much confidence with that Kayle ult. And Upset just can't dish out enough damage to trade back.
So devastating now to get this gold, this objective, to get this buff. Standing under a tower is going to be so very difficult for the side of Fnatic. We'll see how much standing gold there's to take. All the tier 2s are already down, just about breaking the base now as we take a look back at the fight.
Yeah, so Perkz just dashes in here with the Kayle ult saying, guys, we're not going to let them through this choke. If they don't come through here, we can get this tower. We're going to zone them away. Looked a bit sketchy at the start because it doesn't really land onto anyone, but then the chains land on the Humanoid. Carzzy follows his mid laner into the fight. Then on top left, you can see Haru buying so much time with the Zinda ult. Upset standing in the GP ult, barrels connecting. Alphari so much confidence. And Hylissang left alone with no flash next to Perkz. He falls, so not the ideal fight for Fnatic. They want to be more grouped up, stay together, have the Renata Twitch together, but everyone was a bit too separated.
I mean, the struggle there is that Wunder and Upset are standing right on top of each other. So Wunder, you know, selflessly, I'm going to ult the Twitch, he's going to be safe. Barrel chain hits both of them. Well, he's the one without the ult, so it's instantly 50% of his HP gone.
Yep.
Blink of the eye, and Alphari's only going to get more terrifying as we get later into the game. Looks like IE going to be the next item.
So, 6 towers down for Vitality. That's all the altars. No inhibs have been cracked yet, but the waves are coming in. Looks like they're playing some kind of 1-4 here with Perkz in mid, buffing up the wave. And they're going to go for this bot tier 3. All the meanwhile, Wunder needs experience. You talked about it, Drakos. Level 16. He wants to farm up, push towards this top tier 2 and hope the Fnatic can hold on. But their wave clear is quite weak. Twitch, low range. Zoe trying to deal with Perkz right now. So when this next cannon wave comes in, they could start hitting onto this tower. So Wunder's going to have to base. Not going to be able to push out. Alphari needs to land a barrel combo to break through this tower. Has Demolish as well. We'll see if he walks up.
Upset getting sped up, just using his ultimate to try to zone them away.
Upset.
Flashing forward, full confidence here. Big damage down to Labrov. Upset. Absolute madman takes out every single person's health.
The GP
now firing back. Where's the barrel going to go? Eyes on the barrel. Oh my god! 1K into the face of Hylissang.
There's the crit Gangplank. Crit lands. Hilly goes down. Had the flash. Vitality continue the siege with the Baron Razork.
Upset. He's burned all his damage, and now Vitality. They smell blood in the water. They're ready to keep this going, but Upset's still standing. That's the invulnerability. The barrel, they have to auto it. They have to stop it from happening. Perkz leaping in. He has the stolen Kayle ultimate. He will survive. At least one inhibitor will fall here. Fnatic,
They have to back
can
here.
they hold on?
Vitality have to back here. They can't overstay too long. Fnatic can recover, can heal up. Have to be careful for the poke. Perkz looking for the turn. Misses the chains.
Big confidence going in. He wants to end it. Goodbye to Upset. A level 14 KO might not be enough for Fnatic to hold on. Hylissang now respawning. A bit more space, a bit more time. Yes, they find the kill, but they don't get a whole lot else for it.
Perkz really feeling it there, and with that pick, I think they can get Dragon as an exit objective here. Fnatic can't contest. They need more time. Upset still doesn't have a mythic item. Wunder still a level away from 16. Will level up on the next wave. Time is what Fnatic need, but Vitality aren't giving it to them. Perkz, incredible confidence. Dragon picked up. Still 2 dragons away from a soul. Vitality, are they done here? Hylissang has flash. They need to be careful. They're overextending a bit too long here, but the barrel combo, that might have just instantly deleted
Humanoid.
Hilly. They haven't even started the dragon yet, so Razork being top means I think Fnatic have to give it anyway, but at least they can slow Vitality down.
Humanoid looking for an angle. Paddlestar does a lot of damage, but Haru going to try to stop it. Stolen flash.
They have to back off.
Zoning them away. Vitality grabbing another Infernal. No objective bounty for the side of Fnatic. Nothing. for them in this exchange.
So Upset just unleashes full confidence, flash forwards instantly. And then he gets knocked back by Haru. GP ult here does so much to dissuade Fnatic from chasing. Haru flashes out, big barrel combo.
Oh, look
Bang.
away! Look away!
There's the chain.
Oh,
Down goes to
God!
Renata. 1007 damage. Hilly had flash up, then Razork falls to the Zeri W a bit later on in the fight.
Yep, I like this one too. Awkward angle, but bam. Gets him in the middle of the gate.
And then Perkz just plays over vision. Vitality get the tower, they get the inhib, then they decide to back away, and then Perkz just says to Fnatic, we're gonna back away. We've gone, but you don't see me. And as he dashes forwards, misses Humanoid, then gets on top of Upset with the flash, I believe. Make sure he gets that kill. Upset, no sums, no peel, no Kayle ult. He's as good as dead. Raining down from the sky.
Dang.
Observers popping off.
Observers are so clutch this game. Wunder, level 15. Ulti up and available. Can he hold the line?
Halfway to 16. Upset really close to his mythic as well. Fnatic might just give this inhib and say we need to just buy more time. We can't fight yet. Hopefully Vitality slow down. It looks like they are doing so for now. 1 minute 30 seconds on that Baron. I think Fnatic will be ready to fight in 1 minute 30 seconds. So Vitality have to force this inhibitor.
Vitality might not give them the opportunity. All the vision on the top side for Vitality. Total control. It's going to be so hard for Fnatic to find their way into the pit. A little bit of poke landing would be big, but these trouble bubbles are just not connecting. Upset clearing out the wave. Remember, when that inhibitor's down, you get so much money as the person killing those supers, but you need the time and the space to come back into the game. And right now, Vitality aren't looking to give it to them. Perkz waiting over the wall. Similar play. Could just go for the Kayle one more time into the back line.
Upset, fishing for it. Has no flash, though.
Stepping forward, big damage on the Carzzy, trying to finish the job. They're trading Divine Judgments. Two invulnerable AD carries, but it's Razork off to the side, trying to isolate Alphari. That is one fed GP in the hands of Razork. Humanoid with a stolen flash can charge the chase forward. Barrel chain, how clean is Razork's GP so far? Has not been able to find it. Humanoid ready with the flash, leaping over the wall, going forward. Big damage on the Perkz, getting traded back. Fnatic suddenly in the driver's seat. All it took was that pick onto Alphari.
40 seconds on the Baron, though, so there's not an objective to force, but Alphari can TP in the second they do so. So the best thing for Fnatic here is just to back away. Wunder so close to 16. Upset probably really close to his mythic as well. And these are massive breakpoints the later we get into this game. So let's look at this again. Upset, again, just steps up, unleashed with the ultimate. The double invulnerability comes out, but it's Alphari who's the one to fall. Flashes away, gets hit by the stun. And then it's Humanoid who hits the Q. They get the kill. Flashes forward, invested, but good trade overall. Forces Vitality back. Baron up in 10. Wunder level 16. Upset spacing. Does he have that third item? And if he does, Fnatic are going to start pressing forwards a bit more and stopping Vitality from being able to force. There's the cell on the Doran's blade to make sure he has it. Kraken Slayer picked up. This Twitch will do incredible amounts of damage.
Level 16 for the Kayle, just in time for the Baron fight. This could be the one that decides the game. An inhibitor's already down, and another one is already exposed. Fnatic have to find their opportunity here. Perkz waiting in the darkness. The hostile takeover stolen, taken away. He's going to step in. He's going to lay it right onto the back line. Upset's going to dodge away from it. Wunder is tearing his team to pieces! But brother kills brother, and Vitality be the ones to find the edge. A devastating ultimate.
Stopwatch from Perkz. Does he die to the poison, though? It's ticking. It falls off. Bot wave coming in. Perkz has TP in 1 second. I think Vitality are calling to end on bot wave here. Everyone's trying to collapse. Does Perkz TP in after the base? If he does, Fnatic, 30 seconds on Razork, 30 seconds on Upset. I think Vitality are going to push for the end here.
Humanoid just running away from the base. There's no option left. All you can do is save your KDA because you will not save this Nexus. Vitality, Perkz. It was a little messy in the early game, but the ultimates across these fights have been so incredibly clutch. Vitality moving up to 5-4, forcing Fnatic to tie them in the standings as the middle of the table is an absolute bloodbath.
There was hope for Fnatic. They held on just enough to get that break point, but it was Perkz. Takes the Renata ult, forces Wunder and Razork to turn against each other and absolutely delete one another. And from there, it's a 5v3. They push forwards and they take the win. Upset didn't have enough damage to clean up or save the game.
Dang. What a game, what a back and forth. Credit to Vitality. We've seen so many teams throw it all away on the back of a sloppy fight, build massive leads that they were not able to close out. But ultimately, Vitality make it work. Terrifying GP coming out of Alphari.
Yeah.
Labrov's roaming. Got him killed a lot, I'm not going to lie to you. But it also won them the early game. Key player of the game, it's your choice at LEC on Twitter. Alphari, Haru, Labrov. There are no wrong choices. Let us know who you think
A lot of people did heavy lifting there. Carzzy was a bit quiet after the 2v2 kill, struggled a bit down there. Labrov, incredible roams to get Alphari ahead in the first place. Haru, good team fighting. Perkz, amazing team fighting as well.
Yeah.
But it was Alphari who had the big chunk of cash to keep Vitality ahead, and it's very difficult as a top laner with that much of a lead to help your team snowball, because your role is so isolated. You have to find a way to get yourself involved as much to keep the game alive and snowballing, but also enough on the side lane to keep the top laner down on the enemy team. I think he had a pretty good balance.
It's a very delicate balancing act. That's why we see so many teams struggle against champions like the Kayle, but ultimately Vitality, despite that being the counter pick, really do make it work, really do bring that lead home with 1K crits onto...
Big barrels.
Big barrels on the Hylissang. Big barrels onto everybody. I want to see that hostile takeover again at some point. I want to see how much damage Fnatic did to each other with those auto attacks. As we're getting ready. We're getting ready for an interview with the man himself.
Alphari.
I don't want to call him the pirate of top lane, because I don't think he steals anything. This man's just hardworking.
He got a hell of a lot of bounty though. He
Got
found
a big bounty.
The chests, 4K
This
gold.
man, lane king of the top lane. Let's see what he has to say. Let's head it over to Trevor.
Thank you very much. I am joined by Alphari. First of all, congratulations on the win. What was one of the key factors that allowed you to actually close the game out? Because it felt incredibly tense in those later game team fights.
Yeah, I mean, actually, we were getting a little bit, maybe not stressed, but there's always an element of urgency playing against Twitch Kayle. So I think as soon as they use the ultis, so there's a top lane fight where we were sieging the inhibitor where Twitch had no ulti, and then we were just okay. I mean, I died, which was really sad. But Twitch had no ulti, so then we just went Nash, and he still didn't have ulti, and then Perkz got a really big turn. So they're really strong when they don't, or when they have ultis rather, but when they don't, they're pretty useless, and then we just needed a force. So that was the main thing for eventually closing it out.
I mean, your barrels absolutely had a huge influence. We had some dramatic slow-mo replays of 1,000+ crits. I want you to talk me through the early game and what allowed you and the rest of the Vitality squad to pick up such a strong advantage. I mean, there was a lot of pressure, a lot of focus in the top lane, and ultimately, you benefited.
Yeah, so, I mean, we got a dive off top early, which is kind of what you want to look for against Kayle, because, pretty useless 3-6. And then here, actually, this was Labrov smurfing. So I have a freeze and Kayle has no flash. So we know they're going to try, he has to outpush. So it's going to be a 2v2 top red. And yeah, Labrov just makes it a 3v2, so Kayle is fucked. Oh, well, maybe not, just in a bad
golden.
position.
I mean, you won the game. I think that's fair. Alphari, do you think this early game went to plan? Are you pretty happy with that when you reflect on how it played out? Or do you think it could have gone a little different?
I mean, I think bot lane died 2v2, so maybe that could have not happened. But otherwise, I'm really happy we dove top. Labrov came top as well, like I said. I think this Kayle was not having a fun early game. Hopefully, they thought it was a good idea to leave GP open. Yeah, early game was good.
Not against you, not your GP. I'm happy to announce that you did win the Kia Player of the Game award. All the fans recognizing the influence you had, so congrats on that. And I do want to take a step away and ask you to reflect a little bit on the first half of Summer. 5-4 now. We've had a very surprising set of results over the course of the weekend. But how do you feel when you look back at the last 4 weeks of play for Vitality and how you feel you've approached the game, and maybe how close are you to your peak performance?
Yeah, I don't think we are that close to our peak performance yet, but we are getting there steadily. I can see we are making improvements, or, well, at least I think we are. So I think we are understanding ourselves better, and we are choosing, champions which work with us more. And we're also playing better early game, which was really not working in the first couple of weeks. I think our early games were pretty terrible. So this game, we had to abuse them early game. Twitch Kayle, we did better. I don't think we are peak yet, but it's all part of the process. And I don't mind being 5-4. Losing is not great, but you get to learn from it. So it only sucks if you get demotivated, but we are fine. I'm confident, and it's just fun to play anyway.
Alphari, what's it been like for you in terms of the expectations from fans, from viewers, from the broadcast, as well as dealing with the difficult spring and now starting to kind of like fight back, you know, silence the haters in some way? How's that been for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of expectations first, right? Because, well, Perkz won a ton and Carzzy won last year. I've never won, but I've gotten close a couple times. I don't know, the roster is like good and I have a lot of expectations as well. So finishing, I think we came 5th in spring. I can't really remember that.
Yeah, it was 5th.
Whole period just like blocked out of my mind. So that was not good. And I don't know, just have to reset. You know, I've had bad splits before in terms of results, and you just have to pick yourself up and continue trying.
I mean, that's a great mentality to have. Alphari, I've got one last question for you. There's been a lot of discussion around the strength of the league when we see some results coming, especially like this weekend, so many surprises. What's your take on how competitive Europe is right now? And, you know, do you think this will stay the same for the next 4 weeks?
Yeah, actually, I do think that the level of the teams is going to be pretty similar. I don't think there's like any team that's like really a cut above right now. Perhaps Rogue, because they are regular season kings as per usual. But I feel like every other team, I mean, aside from maybe BDS, but even like the bottom teams seem pretty competitive right now. I think that there's going to be some like tension in the playoffs race. I can see like a lot of teams actually fighting for the last spots. Hopefully not us. But yeah, I think EU is really competitive right now and every game is fun.
I absolutely love that you called Rogue the regular season kings. That's definitely the catchphrase we're looking for. And some could say every game counts. Alphari, thank you very much for the interview. Congratulations on the win. Very excited to see how the rest of summer plays out. For now, though, we're going to an ad break. And when we come back, it is the post-game lobby with Viego joining us. We'll see you on the other side of this.